They'll tell you to be confident, but no one warns you that confidence is not what you think. Most people mistake noise for strength, smiles for power, and approval for courage. True confidence is darker. It is quiet. It waits. It builds in the shadows where no one is watching. Confidence is not a gift. It is not luck, talent, or charm. It is forged in moments of silence, in the cold hours when your fears speak louder than your dreams. Those hours when you face yourself and every weakness you've tried to ignore. This is where the awakening begins. This is where real power, the kind that moves mountains and bends the world, is quietly born. Look around. Everyone is performing. People act bold because they want to be seen. They laugh, they posture, they try to convince the world they are unbreakable. But inside, they tremble. Inside, they doubt. Inside, they wait for someone to expose them, to show them for the hollow masks they wear. Most of the world is a stage, and most people are actors. True confidence, the kind that bends reality, never performs. It absorbs. It calculates. It waits. History remembers the men and women who carried this invisible strength. Napoleon walking across his battlefield, eyes calm, heart untouchable, while thousands of men panicked around him. Machiavelli writing quietly, understanding that perception alone could hold kingdoms together. None of them were loud. None needed applause. They commanded respect because they first commanded themselves. Confidence begins with fear, not the loud fear of danger, but the quiet fear that lives inside your chest every night when the world is still. You can either surrender to it, let it define you, or you can meet it, look it in the eye. Study it, learn what it wants. Most people run. They avoid discomfort. They choose the comfort of distraction over the terror of truth. But the truth is always waiting. And the moment you face it, everything changes. Fear is a teacher. It shows you your cracks, your hesitation, your doubts, and the world will exploit everyone. The moment you pretend fear does not exist, you create illusions. People will admire your mask. They will respect your bravado. But the moment reality challenges you, that mask will shatter. Real confidence is built not in pretending, but in preparing. It is built in the quiet grind, in the relentless confrontation with your own weakness. And it is lonely. No one will understand this process. Friends will call it obsession. Family will call it madness. The world does not celebrate preparation. It celebrates performance. But those who endure the silence, who embrace the isolation, they are the ones who awaken. They are the ones who can walk into chaos without hesitation. They are the ones who are feared and respected, not because they claim power, but because power already knows them. Confidence is not a roar. It is a shadow moving in the light. You do not demand attention, you command it. People feel it before they see it. They sense it before it is obvious. And this is why the most confident people are often invisible until the moment they act. Then the world bends. Then the outcomes change. They have mastered the quiet power that everyone else mistakes for luck, timing, or fate. But it is none of those things. It is discipline. It is awareness. It is the deliberate embrace of your own darkness. Most people will never understand this. They will see confidence as courage and mistake courage for fearlessness. But courage is loud. Courage is a spark. True confidence is a fire that burns steadily, invisible beneath the ashes of the world. It does not seek validation. It does not need witnesses. It does not falter when others doubt. It is steady, relentless, and unshakable. The world will tempt you with shortcuts. Flattery, approval, social validation. These are the crutches of the weak. The strong do not rely on them. They rely on themselves. Every skill they develop, every fear they face, every moment they endure alone. This is the currency of real confidence, the kind that changes destinies. Even Machiavelli understood this. He knew that most men are afraid of what they do not understand. And confidence, properly honed, is nothing but the careful study of reality. You see the world clearly, you see people clearly, and you act accordingly. You move with precision because you are not guided by ego, desire, or approval. You are guided by truth, your truth. And that is the awakening. So here is what you must realize. Confidence is not who you are. It is who you decide to become. It is not a gift handed to you by luck or society. It is earned in the quiet, in the dark, in the moments when no one else is watching. Most people will never see it in you because they are too distracted by noise, by performance, by comfort. But that is the point. True confidence does not need witnesses. It does not beg for approval. It exists first in your own mind, in your own control, in your own confrontation with fear. And once it exists there, the world cannot ignore it. True confidence is quiet. It does not need validation. Most people mistake the absence of fear for courage. Real power, the kind that changes destinies, is born when you confront your fear, face your darkness, and refuse to yield. This is the awakening, the moment you see that confidence is not who you are, but who you decide to become. Confidence is not always what it seems. It can lift you higher than anyone else. But it can also blind you, isolate you, and make you vulnerable in ways the unprepared never see. The higher you climb, the sharper the edges become. And the world does not forgive mistakes. When you first awaken to your own strength, it feels intoxicating. Every glance, every word, every movement carries weight. People listen. They notice. They follow. But this is only the beginning. The true challenge lies in understanding what your power demands from you and what it will take if you misuse it. Most people mistake confidence for invincibility. They think that if they act bold enough, speak loud enough, or appear fearless, nothing can touch them. But confidence is a tool, a blade that must be handled carefully. Left unchecked, it cuts the one who wields it. Every historical figure who rose with unstoppable force also fell because they failed to respect its subtle demands. Napoleon marched into Russia with fire in his eyes, convinced of his untouchable will. The cold winter and his overreach proved otherwise. Confidence without caution is arrogance. Arrogance leads to exposure. Exposure leads to ruin. The hidden face of confidence is isolation. The moment you begin to stand apart, to move differently, to see the world with clarity, few will understand. Friends will grow distant. Enemies will circle. Family may question your choices. People are drawn to power but repelled by its presence. They admire it from afar, but they do not walk beside it. And this solitude is necessary. It is in isolation that you refine your mind, sharpen your instincts, and understand the full weight of your influence. Confidence is also deceptive. The world sees certainty and assumes mastery. But mastery is silent, hidden, and often misunderstood. Those who are truly dangerous know this. They walk among the unprepared, smiling softly, listening, observing, while everyone else is performing and pretending. Every hesitation, every flicker of doubt, becomes a map to be studied. Every weakness in others is a lever. And yet, the confident person knows that their own weakness can be exploited the same way. This is why the most potent leaders and manipulators in history were rarely the loudest. They did not shout their power, they whispered it through presence, control, and careful action. Julius Caesar did not need to declare his strength. He showed it subtly, and the world bent before him. Machiavelli wrote of princes who understood this truth, that appearances matter, that perception is power, and that restraint is often more valuable than brute force. Confidence, properly wielded, commands without proving. But the descent is not just external, it is internal. The more you trust in your own certainty, the more the mind begins to test you. Doubts creep in, almost unnoticed, like shadows in a room you thought empty. You start questioning your decisions, second-guessing your instincts. And the trap is simple. Let arrogance feed on your early victories. And suddenly, your most dangerous enemy becomes yourself. Every misstep, Every lapse in judgment is magnified by pride. And yet, the descent is necessary. You cannot reach true mastery without it. You must experience the seductive danger of power. You must understand how easily people can mistake your mask for invulnerability. You must feel the cold, quiet sting of isolation. These lessons are brutal, but they are essential. Without them, confidence remains shallow. It is noise, not strength, performance, not mastery. Even the most calculated minds have fallen for this illusion. Alexander the Great conquered kingdoms, yet his ego and overreach pushed him to exhaustion and early death. Leaders who do not respect the dark side of their own confidence invite destruction. And this is the warning few ever hear. Confidence is a gift, but it is also a test. It rewards those who respect it. It punishes those who do not. Confidence can be seductive. It makes you feel untouchable. It convinces you that the world bends to your will, but the world is indifferent to perception alone. Only action, grounded in awareness, sustains power. Every move you make must be deliberate. Every silence must be purposeful. Every choice measured. And when you master this, you transform confidence from a fleeting thrill into an unshakable force. This descent is not a fall. It is preparation. It is the confrontation with reality, stripped of illusion. It is the moment when you see that people are neither allies nor enemies, only mirrors of your own weaknesses and strengths. The higher you rise, the more you must move through shadows, and those shadows reveal the truth. Mastery is not inherited, it is forged. It is earned through awareness, restraint, and the willingness to face the darkness in yourself that most will never acknowledge. So understand this. Confidence is a tool, not a guarantee. It can lift you to unimaginable heights, but it can also isolate you, deceive you, and expose you. Power rewards those who respect the darkness within themselves and punish those who ignore it. The descent is the moment of awakening to this truth. It is brutal, it is quiet, and it is necessary. The path to mastery is not comfortable. It is not easy. But it is real, and only by walking it can you learn to wield confidence without falling victim to it. Confidence is a tool, not a guarantee. The higher you rise, the more isolated you become. Power will reward you, but only if you respect the darkness inside yourself. If you do not, your own illusion will betray you. This is the descent, understanding that mastery requires both audacity and caution. By now, you've seen the awakening. You've walked through fear, stared into your weaknesses, and felt the quiet burn of your own potential. You've descended, witnessing the hidden dangers of power, the isolation, the seductive lies of false confidence. Now, you stand at the edge of mastery. The moment where what once intimidated you, fear, doubt, chaos, bends under your will. Mastery begins with stillness. Not the restless stillness of waiting, but the calm of knowing. The world moves around you, frenzied, chaotic, blind to consequence. You move with purpose. Every word, every gesture, every pause is deliberate. People do not see the calculations. They only feel the presence. And presence is more powerful than argument, louder than force, and sharper than any blade. True confidence is quiet. It is strategic. It does not demand attention, it draws it. It does not rely on validation, it relies on control. Every master understands that perception is reality, but also that perception alone is fragile. To harness confidence, you must align your actions with your presence. You must become a force that moves through the world unseen, and yet leaves impact everywhere you touch. Look at the greats of history. Churchill did not shout his determination. He walked steadily through war, his words measured, his demeanor unshakable. Sun Tzu wrote of strategy and deception, teaching that the strongest do not reveal their power until it is absolute. Cleopatra's strength was subtle, a glance, a word, a gesture, and yet kingdoms bent to her influence. All of them mastered confidence not by acting fearless, but by controlling their mind, their emotions, and the perception of others. The key is control. Mastery demands that you recognize your fears and doubts not as enemies, but as tools. Every insecurity, every hesitation can be converted into insight. When you understand the darkness inside yourself, you no longer run from it. You wield it. It becomes your shield against manipulation, your compass in decision-making, your silent weapon in moments that require absolute precision. Do not mistake this mastery for arrogance. It is not loud. It is not reckless. Those who truly wield confidence know that patience is strength, silence is power, and timing is everything. The world will test you. People will challenge you. Your mind will tempt you with shortcuts, illusions of control, or the seductive thrill of domination. Resist them. The master chooses every action, every engagement, and every battle carefully. They know that not every fight is worth winning, and not every truth should be spoken. Mastery is also adaptation. The confident man is not rigid, he is fluid, like water flowing around obstacles. He reads situations, interprets intentions, and acts decisively. Every setback is data. Every betrayal is a lesson, and every moment of doubt is an opportunity to reinforce your own resolve. This is the dark psychology of confidence, the understanding that power is not given. It is taken, maintained, and respected through vigilance. History remembers those who mastered this principle. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must be both feared and respected, but never reckless. Napoleon knew the same. He studied the battlefield, his enemies, and himself, bending strategy and perception into a single, unstoppable force. True mastery is not visible until it is tested. Then it becomes undeniable. People see it, and they bend. They follow, they submit. But until that moment, it exists quietly, like a storm brewing beyond the horizon. And yet, mastery carries responsibility. The darkness you command is not just a tool for dominance. It is a lens. It is a way of navigating a world built on illusion, weakness, and distraction. You choose when to act, whom to trust, and which battles are necessary. Your confidence becomes a force that shapes reality, not because it demands obedience, but because it aligns perception, presence, and action. The final lesson is subtle. When you harness confidence fully, you no longer chase power. Power follows you. Doors open not because you ask, but because you exist in the state that demands respect. Challenges bend to your understanding. Opposition falls before your clarity. Fear, chaos, and doubt are no longer enemies. They are materials to craft your influence, your decisions, your life. The man who masters this is calm in the storm, unshakable in the face of failure, and deliberate in the execution of every choice. Confidence, once mastered, is unassailable. It does not falter because it is rooted in reality, not illusion. It does not need validation because it is self-sufficient. It does not need performance because its existence is undeniable. And yet, it is invisible until revealed. You do not flaunt mastery. You live it. Every glance, every word, every step becomes proof of a quiet, relentless strength. So, this is the final truth. Mastery is born when fear becomes insight, doubt becomes preparation, and chaos becomes strategy. It is the point where you no longer react to the world, you shape it. You no longer hope for respect, you command it. And the darkness you once feared becomes your weapon, your shield, and your compass. Confidence stops being a fleeting emotion and becomes an unshakable way of life. The path to mastery is not easy. It demands confrontation with your deepest fears, ruthless honesty with yourself, and the discipline to act deliberately in a chaotic world. But it is attainable. True confidence is deliberate, strategic, and quiet. It does not shout. It does not perform. It exists first in the mind, then in action, and finally in the world around you. When you achieve it, the world bends to your presence, and nothing, neither fear, doubt, nor chaos, can stop you. This is the mastery of confidence, the ultimate command over yourself, and the reality that surrounds you. True confidence is neither loud nor reckless. It is deliberate, strategic, and unshakable. When you harness it, you no longer chase power. Power follows you. The darkness you once feared becomes your weapon, your shield, your compass. This is mastery, the point where fear, doubt, and chaos bend to your will.